we can just click this beautiful icon right here on the right. So we can let the model define this parameter by itself. So there you go. That's going to be defined automatically by the model. n8n just did it again. They just made building AI agents even easier. And today I'm going to show you how they've done this by building a personal AI agent from scratch alongside you in this video. One that can schedule meetings, send emails, and manage contacts in just a few minutes. Now you can build AI agents super fast, even if you're just getting started with n8n. So no coding or no complex setups required. Before, you had to write manual expressions to tell the language model what data to send to the tool, but now you can do all of that with a click of a button, which is incredible. I'll walk you through everything step by step, so that by the end of this video, you have your own fully functional personal AI agent. So if you're ready, let's jump into it straight away. So the first thing that you're going to do is sign into your dashboard on your n8n cloud account. And what you're going to do is go to manage. Okay, so you see a little here on the top, it says manage. So go ahead and hit that. And now you'll be presented with the following. So I want you to go to this section here where you see the n8n version, and you're going to upgrade to 1.79.2, okay? That's the minimum n8n version that is going to enable this new feature that I'm going to show you today. Okay, so once you select the new version, you should have an option here to actually do the updates, right? It should take a couple minutes. And once you do, make sure to save the changes. And once you're ready, go back to dashboard, to your workspace, and then open a new project. Okay, so now you should be presented with something like this. And before we move any further, because I understand there might be some beginners here, we're going to go through the difference between a language model, a large language model, and an AI agent, okay? Okay, so I'm going to try to go through this in the simplest way possible, but I still think that you need to understand this, okay? Especially because there's many beginners watching these type of videos. So first of all, we have this LLM, and then we're going to have the user, which is going to send an input, and the LLM is going to use its general knowledge to generate an output, okay? And then the user is happy. Cool. Now let's do the same with an agent. But what is an agent? An agent essentially is a framework comprising of multiple components. One of these components is the brain, which in this case is the LLM. So what's going to happen is that the user is going to give an input to the agent, and it's going to go first through the LLM, okay? And the LLM is going to generate a set of actions, okay? Or an action, it depends. And then based on this action or actions is going to execute a set of tools, one tool or multiple tools, okay? So let's put it like this, tool or tools. And this could be perhaps an HTTP API request, okay? An HTTP API request that we are going to make onto the outer world, okay, outside of this agent system. And we can perhaps call it world. And this could comprise of pretty much anything that you can access via an API, let's say in this case, which can be just an API server, right? The API server itself, right? Let's say we contact Apify, or, you know, another automation tool, or, you know, something like Vapi to trigger a voice agent, okay? Whatever it is. So once we do all of that, then we can retrieve some information back, which is then going to be sent, we call it data. This is going to be sent back to the LLM, and then the LLM is going to format that into the, you know, to the right format, and then give that back to the user as an output, okay? But we're missing something. We're missing the memory element. We need this memory element so that the agent is able to improve over time. So the memory usually tends to hold a set of past interactions between the user and the LLM. So where can we store this conversation memory in this case? We can store it in RAM. And, you know, there's a quick memory component that we can set up in n8n, which is called in-memory. You probably saw it and used it already. In-memory vector store, right? You'll see it later on in the example. But yeah, we can store it here in RAM. We can store it in a SQL database. We can store it in a vector store, right? It doesn't really matter. But the point of this is that based on the actions that we generate, based on the user LLM interaction, we can feed that onto the memory and update the memory so that it has a fresh understanding of what's going on between the user and the LLM, so that we can improve on the output in later interactions. Okay, so we're going to feed the memory to the LLM as context using RAG. Okay, and that's pretty much what an agent is in a nutshell. Hopefully I didn't overcomplicate that. I just thought it was important for you to understand what it is. And hopefully this gives you a better insight and a better understanding when you start playing around with the n8n components, that comprises an agent. And hopefully you should be able to build easier now that you have this understanding. Okay, now let's go into the n8n build. Okay, so let's get started. So first we need the on-chat message so that we can chat to the agent. We're gonna open the chat, and if we send a message, we're not gonna receive anything back because we didn't connect anything. We didn't connect the large language model. So we're going to go to advanced AI. Let's add the agent, select AI agent, and then we're going to get the skeleton, if you may, okay? That framework that I was talking to you about before in the diagram that I draw. So now we're going to add the brains of it, in this case, the large language model. Let's select an OpenAI chat model. You can choose whatever you want, but this is for the OpenAI chat model. If you don't know where to get these credentials, especially, well, the API key is the only thing that you need to add. You're gonna go to platform.openai.com, go to dashboard, then go to API keys, and then create a new secret key. Once you do all that, then copy that key, save it somewhere safe, and then paste it here. And then you're good to go, okay? Now you're able to chat to it. So if I say, hey, that's going to process that. The prompt is going to go to the large language model, and then it's going to spit me an output, okay? So in this case, it's, hey, hello, how can I assist you today? Cool. So if you want to see how that works in the background, we can see right here that we're getting this chat input. We are referring to it, right? You say, hey, this is the prompt that then we're going to send onto the large language model. It's going to process that, bring it back up, and then give it to us as an output. Hello, how can I assist you today? Cool. Now let's add some memory very quickly. This is what I was telling you before in the diagram that I drew. This is what we're going to add as context to the LLM every time we chat to the agent. So in this case, we have a session ID, which has been generated by the on-chat node. You see here, you see the session ID. The n8n is smart enough that it populates that stuff automatically, right? So this is amazing. You don't need to do much. And then for the window buffer memory, you can select how many past interactions you can send as context to the LLM or as to the model. In this case, I like selecting 10. I think it's a good number, but you can put whatever you want. Okay, so now we're going to select the tool. And for our personal assistant, in terms of tools, the first thing that comes to mind in terms of capabilities would be to be able to send emails. So we are going to add the Gmail tool. Okay, we're going to use the Gmail API to connect to our Gmail. So you will go ahead and create a credential. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is one of the things that they added as a new feature. Previously, you would have to fill in, actually not this. There used to be another single feature here where you would have a client ID and a client secret, and it would require you to create a Google Cloud project and then enable some APIs and services, and it was all very complex. But now all you need to do is sign in with Google, right? Select your account, give it permissions, and then hit OK, and then connection successful. And then you can come back, and now it works, right? Let's rename this as Frank Gmail. Cool. Let's hit save. And that's pretty much it. Now you're connected to your Gmail. So quick. So we're going to description. We are just going to leave it automatically. We'll leave this as the same. We want to send a message, right? If you want, you can set it as draft, but we're going to send a message directly. I'm going to send that. And this is the main feature that I wanted to discuss here, okay? So let me go back to the drawing board for me to explain what I mean, okay? So you see these inputs here, right? To subject, email type. This is the things that we're going to send onto the API so that it's able to, send that email. So if you think about this LLM here, let me choose this pen. If you have this LLM, and then we have, the Gmail API right here, okay? So in order to use this, we need certain parameters. We need the key, and then the value. So we need to fill this in. Then we need, a subject, this email subject, right? We need all these inputs. And one way of doing it is by just placing it manually, but that removes the purpose of having an agent. So the two main ways of doing it, well, the main way that I used to do it before is using a fromAI function, right? And this essentially, we added as an expression here. And this allows us to use the LLM to fill these inputs automatically for us based on the query that we're giving it at the start, right, in the chat. So this is very powerful. And this just allows us to automate this entire process, right? We don't need to add any complex code or anything to be able to use this Gmail API. It's essentially like giving it to a human in this scenario. So this is pretty powerful. So the way this would work would be to add this following syntax. So we would do this, and then we would do dollars from AI, and then we'll put some brackets, and then we'll add a set of parameters, okay? So as you can see here, we would add the key. In this case, if you want to get the name of the person, its name, it's 2. So in this case, we can put something like email address or recipient address, right? Whatever you want. So this is the key. Then we can add a description. We can add the email address of the person we are sending an email to, okay? So this is essentially used pretty much as extra context so that the language model knows what to fill in this input here, right? In this 2 input. So let's go to the documentation actually, because it's explained this a bit in depth. So we had the fromAI function here, fromAI email, right? Email address, and then you can fill these in. So only the key is mandatory here. The rest you can leave and let the LLM figure out. But obviously, if it's not great, that's when you add these extra parameters. So that's all good and stuff, but you can imagine that it takes some effort. So now we don't have to do that anymore. We can just click this beautiful icon right here on the right. So we can let the model define this parameter by itself. So there you go. That's going to be defined automatically by the model. And now to make things easier, if you want to get a bit more granular, more specific to it in the same way that, we were specifying the description and the type and all that, all you need to do is add a description. And then you can be a bit more flexible how you want to write it. So you just read this, explain to the LLM how you should generate this value. Good specific description will allow LLMs to produce expected results. So this is just the equivalent of adding this, programmatically. Yeah, just makes life easier for the beginner. And that's what I like about this. I'm just going to show you the raw capabilities without adding any extra things. Okay, I want you to see how powerful this is just by itself. So subject, I'm going to also define by the model. Let's change this email type to text, because if you write it as HTML, it could appear as spam. We don't want to make it look too spammy. We want to make it look like a general email. You know how you receive those spam emails with all the designs and all that. We don't want to make it look like that if you're sending it to a person. And we are also have that defined by the model automatically. Okay, cool. So that's that. And there you go. This is pretty much an agent right now, right? And look how quick that was. All I had to do is just set this up, set the credentials really quick, and let everything be defined by the language model. This is very powerful stuff, guys. Okay, and now we should be ready to send an email. So obviously we need now some sort of database to send, if we say, let's send an email to Mike, so that we don't have to specify that Gmail, right? Mike's Gmail, we can have a place to store it, but let's first try it as it is. I'll specify the Gmail of the person. Let's say send an email to, I'm going to use one of my burner emails, send an email to this following address, and congratulate him for 16K subscribers, right? So let's see how that works. Let's press enter. It's using the large language model. It's deciding what to do. You can see here live log of what it's doing. And then, it triggered the Gmail tool. So now we should see a message on my inbox, on my burner account. Let's see how that looks like. So I'm going to bring that right now and look at that. This is really powerful, guys, really powerful. You can see here that it wrote the subject by itself, right? We didn't need to give it any additional context like we used to do before with the fromAI expression. It did that by itself. Dear Jimenez, that it figured that out automatically from my email address, I suppose. I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate you, blah, blah, blah. Keep up the great work. This is incredible, guys. And then best wishes, your name. You see, it doesn't know my name, so that's when we can start adding more context, right? The best way to build these systems is by starting really simple, and then when you see any inefficiencies, that's when you add the context. And then you see here this ugly little thing, little marketing feature that n8n has done, which I don't blame them, honestly. I would do the same. So let's go back and let's fix that, okay? Let's go actually to the Gmail tool. And what's going wrong? So message. So now all we need to do in the message is just put add when you sign off, write my name, which is Frank Nillard, sorry. I don't know how to spell my surname. Okay, so now let's run it again, and hopefully that should fix it. Okay, so let's send an email again to. Since we have the memory, the window buffer memory, we just need to say send an email to the same address. Send the same email to the same address again. Okay, let's do that. And we're doing that. Perfect. Now let's see what we got. Wait a bit. Okay, cool. There you go. So if we zoom in a bit, you can see that it put Frank Nillard, right? So look how little time that took me. Barely nothing. You guys should be able to understand the potential of this, right? The potential to be able to connect to APIs that easy and just set all these parameters. Have that language model set these parameters automatically. This is, we're getting there. when it comes to AI agents, right? And then setting these AI agents to production settings. It's pretty powerful. Okay, cool. Now we're going to give it the ability to search through a very simple database. Okay, in this case, we're going to use Google Sheets tool. And I already have my credentials here. The way I set it up was, the old-fashioned way, but now I'm pretty sure that, yes, we can set it up using the same way as before. So go ahead and do that. So sheet within document, set automatically. You can leave that as it is. You can get the row. Yeah, that's fine. And we're going to choose the document. So in this case, I have a document here, a very simple one, okay? I wanted to keep this very simple with a contact name and an email, okay? So Mike, Frank Johnson, and Herman Mueller with their respective emails here, okay? I'm gonna zoom in a bit so you can see. Obviously, these emails are fake, and I hope they're fake. We're gonna go back and let's choose a sheet. Okay, in this case, it's contacts. And I'm gonna let it be as it is, okay? I'm not gonna do anything. It's gonna let it be. So column name. Okay, so it already detected automatically the column and all that. But I'm not gonna do any of that. Let's see. If you come with any errors, we'll see how to fix it. Okay, so now we have Google Sheets. So now this got deactivated. I think I did it by mistake. Okay, so now Google Sheets. And now let's try to say, okay, let me send an email to Mike Bobber. Let's say just say Mike. Should be able to understand that it's Mike Bobber. There's not a lot of Mikes here. In fact, it's the only one. So let's say send an email to Mike, congratulating him. I'm in the mood for congratulating people. Congratulating for, I don't even know, maybe 100K subscribers on YouTube. Hopefully there's a Mike that has 100K subscribers. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Send that. Let's see if it, okay. So it seems that I need a valid email address for Mike to send the congratulatory message. Okay, that's fine. So perhaps I need to be more specific here with the system message. Okay, so let's add a system message. Maybe that's why. You're a helpful assistant. If you need to send an email, make sure to check the Google Sheets tool to check if there's any emails associated to the name that the user mentioned in the input message, okay? In the user message, I think that should be good, okay? So let's save that, and now let's try again, okay? Send email to Mike, congratulating him on YouTube. Let's try again. Okay, now it's using the Google Sheets tool, and then it's using the Gmail, okay? Now it knows. So I have sent an email to Mike at MikeTheGuy@test.com. Let's check if that worked. Let's go to my Gmail account. So I'm going to log in here. I'm going to go to drafts, and then we should find our, oh no, it's in sent. Yes, okay, yeah. And you can see here, we sent it. So we sent it to MikeTheGuy@test.com. And that's exactly what we wrote here, right? We didn't even have to mention Mike Bobber. We just said Mike. Obviously, when it gets a bit more involved, if we have another Mike here, Mike Johnson, when the names get very similar, that's when you might want to implement a vector store or something similar, okay? So that it has a bit more context, or it retrieves these things a bit more accurately. But, regarding the use case, this is pretty simple, easy to add, it works, and perhaps we can check the email as well. So, congratulations on reaching 100K, that's a credible achievement. Best regards, Frank Millar. Okay, so this is annoying me, so we're gonna remove that. And the way we remove this is very simple. We're gonna go to the Gmail here, and add option, append n8n attribution, and we're gonna remove that. We can even let the model define this parameter, which is funny. But yeah, we're gonna leave it as it is. So there you go. Okay, so now we made this work, and now we're gonna add the last tool. So the last tool is going to be the calendar tool, Google Calendar tool. Okay, now we are dealing with times as well. So once again, do the credentials, create a credential and whatnot, verify with Google. And we're gonna choose a calendar, right? So in this case, it's my one of my calendars here, my burner account. Let's see what this is. So start now. Okay, let's see what happens if we let the model define this parameter, and let's see what happens if we let the model define this parameter as well, okay? We can also let define, too weird. Let's just do it the simplest way, right? Let's abuse this new feature. Let's see where we can get to with this so that you beginners understand how easy this is. Okay, cool. Save that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say send an email account, send an invite to Mike for meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Okay, 4 p.m. my time. Cool. So let's go ahead and see what it does. Run the LLM. Okay, so what did it run? So it ran a couple things. It ran the Gmail as well. Okay, so it's pretty cool because it also reminded the person through Gmail. So let's check that once again. Let's see what it sent. You can find details and add it to your calendar using the follow link. Okay, cool that it actually showed me in a real event that it booked. But we see nothing here, right? It didn't add a Google Meet video conference in or anything. So now we can get specific. So Google Calendar, let's go there. And perhaps let's add other parameters. Let's see, conference data, Google Meet. Right, so let's set this as a Google Meet. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that we're filling this up as a Google Meet. Just gonna check again if we can fill this in based on let the AI fill this in, but it seems like we can't. So now we're gonna make a Google Meet out of that. Cool. Okay, so I just want to understand what's going on here. So date time is choosing 2023, and I'm pretty sure that is because we're letting the large language model decide this. And the large language model doesn't have a notion on times, okay? So the thing is that I think if we leave it like that, fromAI, instead of doing it like this, before actually it was done right. We're gonna select now, I think we can do it like this, right? 2025, and in the end, it was something like plus 1 hour or something. But I don't think this is the robust way of doing it because, as I said, we're gonna just make a meeting at today's time, at today's date, right? So we're gonna leave this as follows. So what we're gonna do is go back to the agent here, right? This shell, and we're going to say, if you need to book a meeting on Google Calendar based on the user message, use today's date and time for reference. And now we're going to attach the expression, okay? So this expression here, right there. So now we should have the following. Okay, we can also format it. You see here it looks weird. If you want, you can do format and then add formats such as the one shown here, like that. But I'm pretty sure that we don't even need to do that because actually, I think regarding APIs and whatnot, the unformatted version is easier to understand by the APIs. So we're gonna leave it like that. That's pretty much it. And then we can set the standard duration to be 1 hour, okay? We could perhaps, let's have a look in here. So I'm thinking, so what we could add here. I think let's leave it as it is and let's see what happens, okay? So I'm just setting the standard duration to be 1 hour. Standard meeting duration to be 1 hour. Let's perhaps write it like that. You can dynamically configure this, but I'm just, for simplicity cases, I just wanna add it here statically. Now let's put send an invite to Mike. Do the same thing again. We can just do that and let's see what it does. Okay, cool. Let's check the node. The logs. Right, okay, cool. So this is February 21st. So we asked it to send a meeting for tomorrow. We see that here. Who has it invited? Seem to have invited anyone. Let's go back here. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to this Google Calendar. I haven't added attendees. So for the attendees, we are going to let this be defined automatically by the model. Okay, so now you should actually invite the person now. And what else do we need? Okay, let's add some more fields. Description, we can have that also automatically added by the model. We can add a summary as well. Why not? Let's add color name or ID. I think this should be good enough. So description, a summary, attendees as well. I don't know if we need a color name or ID. I'm looking for the title. I just don't remember what it was, but I think that should be good. Let's try that again. Save. Let's say, okay, now same thing, but for Saturday. Okay, so now we're expecting for a meeting, right, to invite Mike, send an email, right, and also invite him to a Google Meet for Saturday at 4 p.m., okay, instead of Friday. So let's go ahead and see what it does that. Let's see the log live, OpenAI chat model, calendar, right. Okay, now it's only doing Google Calendar, that's fine, because obviously we didn't specify that. So it also needs to send an email. So let's check, we're only looking for that. Okay, so you see here, meeting with Mike, meeting to discuss updates and future plans, right? We didn't even specify. So it tried to find something to fill out. And then we see it actually filled in the email. If you can zoom in here, right? So right there. Cool. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to create a quick video to get you started with playing around with agents, since I know most of you are beginners and getting started to play with n8n. And yeah, this has been an unscripted video, right? I didn't plan any of this. I built it with you. And yeah, the point for this video being unprepared and all that is for you to understand that the best way for you to learn is not by, it's good to watch my videos, but also learning by doing, right? Learning as you go. So hopefully you went through the video, and if you know, go back and watch my video, and at the same time also do it yourself, okay? You need to find errors, debug them, you know, that's how you're gonna learn best, okay? I'm done here. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, if you didn't, please let me know why in the comments below, okay? Soon, I'll probably be launching my free school community. Let me know what you think about that. I've been thinking about it for some time, but I think it makes a lot of sense given that pretty much everybody's on school at the moment, and yeah, everything is moving around there. I'm also thinking about putting more stuff about the softwares that I'm building in the background, so if you want to see more about that, please let me know in the comments below. Anything else, also let me know in the comments below. Cool. All right. I'm hungry, so I'm going to go to eat. Therefore, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.